Hoodie guy coming back here with another Kaspa video. We're just going to dive right into it. Hash rate 1.08 exahash. We are getting just a few days away from Cinco de Mayo, the crescendo hard fork, 10 blocks per second, and the price of pretty much the whole market's going down. Kaspa's no exception. You can see 10% down the last day. So really, we're not getting that. There was a big move up, but the market moved up. Kaspa was like, what, 36, 38 on, maybe up to 35 on CoinMarketCap, back down to 44. And so is it going to be one of those things? It doesn't seem like the massive pump maybe this weekend before the hard fork, but it doesn't look like that massive pump prior to that's happening. So it'll be interesting to see how the market takes that in. You can see I want to look at Bitcoin dominance. Is what's interesting is that obviously for the most part in the beginning, back in 14 through 16, Bitcoin is pretty much almost all the market. More altcoins started coming out, and then Ethereum and the run in 2017. You can see that Bitcoin bottomed out pretty much at the peak right there at 37, kind of 43% when the market peaked out in 2018 on that bull run, and then it strengthened through the bear market, and then at the peak, and like there was the first peak in like April, May of 2021, and then in November it got down to 40%, and then stayed down there, kind of went back up a little bit, pulled back down, stayed at 40% kind of until the bottom of the bear market, and now we're just working it's working its way back up to 64%. And so we don't know exactly how altcoin season will shape out, but Bitcoin's still on the rise. I don't know if it's going to be different now because, the ETFs, some of those people investing in Bitcoin via the ETF might not rotate it back into anything else. So we'll see, but, or is Bitcoin going to get up to 70%, and is that when it's going to fall down? Time will tell. We'll have to see what, for the next leg up. And yeah, just kind of interesting. There's more bigger countries. No big countries have made moves publicly that we know of, but MicroStrategy loading up on Bitcoin. And then you got XX121 now, Mara, plus just, some retail hasn't really piled into crypto yet. So just something to look at, what that means exactly. The last two bull markets, Bitcoin got down to about 40% on the 37 to 40% on market dominance when the market was close to peaking. So we'll see how that shakes out. There's a lot more projects now, and we'll see what Kaspa's price action. I'm kind of a more long-term gonna make my big trade on this cycle, not necessarily just next week on whatever happens up or down with the price action. And yeah, that's it. There's it has went up pretty good this last month, up 30%, but it doesn't look like a big giant, we got up to 10.5 cents, but it doesn't look like a big crazy pump. But we'll see what the news happens. And I think next week that the Fed has their meeting. We'll see if they lower the interest rates. So yeah, you got 7 days until the next FOMC meeting, and it looks like that they're pricing in the current range is 425 to 450 basis points. So 92.2% chance on May 7th. So we'll see if that still holds up. So thanks for watching, and have a good day.